It's ridiculous. It's like, can we be serious? And then Adam sticking stuff up his nose and that. You're just like, this is going to be a long recording. Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're watching this and what time zone you're in. Welcome to Real Reds. It is me today. No Nick today. He's having a day off, well-deserved for a day off. But it's me and Shreyas. How are you doing, Shreyas, mate? You all right?
Yeah, doing fairly well. Absolutely recovered. So I'm looking forward to actually, making a comeback here. It's been a while.
Yeah. Feeling healthy again, feeling healthy.
Yeah.
So if you didn't know from the thumbnail and the title, we had it's head-to-head today. Obviously, our weekly show where we go two players head-to-head that one United's interested in and one who's currently at the squad. And we go head-to-head on statistics, get a little bio, get a little information, and we go back and forth and just to find out, see how the players compare and then give a little conclusion at the end. So, yeah, let's get on with it, shall we? The two chosen players we've got today is someone who's just popped up in the news, actually, today. Tyrell Malacia. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the pronunciation. From now on, I'm just going to say Tyrell because I'm going to ruin his last name. Fabrizio Romano tweeted today that United are trying to hijack a move for Tyrell Malacia. Talks are in progress to hijack the is it Leon who was going for him? Yeah. They had a verbal agreement for 12 million plus 3 million in add-ons. They were waiting for the player, but now Man United have a fresh proposal, 15 million euros guaranteed plus add-ons in discuss. So it seems like this has come out of nowhere after the sort of update on Donny van der Beek with saying the fee's pretty much agreed and it's just a matter of time before it happens. And then this is out of nowhere. It's like a bus, isn't it, Shreyas? It's like we've waited so long for a signing and now we're getting two, it seems, in like the short space of time.
Yeah. I mean, to be very honest, I think whenever we actually sign these players in this window, it's going to be a combo with 2 or 3 players coming in if it actually happens. Otherwise, it's going to be a case where if we actually sign players, they're all going to be coming in at the same time because we are pretty much at the end of this window. The preseason is actually starting, and except us, almost everything have their plans sorted about next season when it comes to their starting 11, their bench structure, how they want to rotate, and that's how they are going to be implementing it in the preseason. But for us, it's going to be actually to see, to judge how these players are going to be able to cope up under a new manager. And then when the season starts, how the players who are going to be coming in are going to cope up with, the lost time that we actually took in actually getting them in. So it's going to be a disadvantage for these players who are going to come in and plus with, when 3 players come in at the same time, especially, at the end of a window, it is a bit difficult because a whole new team, pretty much, I think most of the players that we are linked with, it's going to be a whole new league for them as well. So it's going to take them a lot of time to adapt as well to the league because the squad we have and the reinforcements, the way we have been going about it, it's going to be difficult for whoever is going to be coming in.
It seemed that the whole predication on our squad rebuilt was based around Frankie de Jong. It's just like Ten Hag wanted Frankie de Jong done, and then he was going to focus on the rest. And that seems to be what happens. It seems to be that Frankie de Jong is pretty much done, all but signed off, and now they're looking at other targets, like trying to hijack this deal. There's rumours of a forward, Anthony's on the table, all that sort of stuff. So it's interesting, though, that hopefully it starts heating up in the next couple of weeks. But today, since the Tyrell Malacia thing has come into focus, we decided we're going to compare him to our very own Alex Telles. He was arguably very poor last season with the campaign that ended. Obviously, Luke Shaw got injured, so we ended up with Alex Telles being our only fit left back and pretty much played every game, and he wasn't great. But if we look at the one-on-one, the statistics, it might tell a little bit of a different story because obviously watching on the eye is a little bit different to the actual stats, but we'll just see what happens.
Yeah.
But a little bit of a sort of bio for Tyrell. He's 22 years old. He's a left-footed left back, which, for Ten Hag, I think that might be quite useful, especially if we've got Dallo and Tyrell, I think, two right-footed, left-footed. crossing, stuff like that, don't have to cut in, stuff like that. So I think that'd be quite interesting. It's a Dutch international, because of course he is, because that's all Ten Hag seems to be interested in, is Dutch international players.
Yeah.
Plays for Feyenoord, valued around 15 to 20 million pounds. Strengths include tackling, recovery, pace, and athleticism. His only weakness is defensive positioning, which is a frustration for us on all our defense. All our defenders, apart from Varane, seem to have very poor defensive positioning. Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire were just the prime example of that. Just could not get it right. Just seemed to be really bad. So that's a concern. But he is 22. So could he be improved? Definitely. Ten Hag is the type of manager who could do something like that, could take a raw player like that and make something out of him. Very cheap price. Again, similar price to what sort of Tellez went for. And yeah, he'll have had a lot of experience in him, because obviously he's played in the Eredivisie. Ten Hag knows him very well. They've played each other a few times. He's probably got a very good look at him, so he probably knows exactly what he's looking at. So yeah, that is Tyrell Malacia. Do you want to just give us a quick background on Alex Tellez, and then we'll get into the stats?
Yeah. I mean, Alex Tellez, I would say one of the most hyped left backs at a time in Europe when we actually got him from Porto, because when we did get him, Chelsea were actually in the running for him as well, because at that time, he was regarded as, one of the best left backs when it comes to attacking in Europe. And when he did come in, Luke Shaw had that wonder season where you could arguably say he's one of the best left backs in Europe. But the thing is, with Alex Tellez, it's been the first season that he did come in, got, I would say, not really a great run of games. It's just been almost like, subbed on, got some cup games here and there, but never really a good run of games where I would say, he's got that 5 to 6 run of games where he could actually, get in some form, get some game time, remove that rustiness that every player has when they've not played in a while. But it didn't happen for him. And the following season, when Ragnick actually came in, he got a few starts. Then Luke Shaw got his spot back, because Dello actually, he impressed a lot and he maintained his position as a starter for us on that right back position. But with Tellez, it actually, it was a situation where he was being shuffled here and there almost every week with Luke Shaw. And then when Luke Shaw got injured, he was pretty much the only left back we had. And we just saw that, how much of, when it comes to squads like Manchester City and Chelsea, you see that even though their second choice left backs are going to be playing, they're still going to be able to provide you with some quality. And with Tellez, it was a situation that it was just average. It was not where you could say that, he's actually offering us something that Luke Shaw can't offer us. It was just a situation that he's the only one we've got and we just got to play him, because we saw how suspicious he was while defending against players like Mahrez, Sterling, and it was just horrible to see how much we were being exploited off that left-hand flank. And so I would say it's been a tough run for him, but his performances when he got the opportunity as well, they haven't really justified him getting a spot in the starting 11. So it's been a really mixed feeling towards Alex Tellez.
Yeah, he got in the team through necessity, not because of his performances. So let's get into the stats anyway. So the first couple of stats I just want to get into is games played and started, and then clean sheets. So for Tyrell, he's played 32 games and he's started 32 of them. So the average minutes is 90 is, and he's got 11 clean sheets, which for a fullback's quite good. He's obviously, I think Ten Hag wants to play with aggressive fullbacks, pushing up and stuff like that. But they also have to have a defensive responsibility, which is arguably one of our weakest points. Like they don't. So 11 clean sheets is quite impressive for a fullback. What about Alex Tellez?
Alex Tellez has got 21 appearances in which he started 18 and just 4 clean sheets across those games. So I do get that point where you say that, these fullbacks, they do offer us attacking prowess, but not that great with defense. But when you actually compare it that way, Alex Tellez doesn't really, offer even us that, bare minimum when it comes to defensive abilities. And even when you look at his attacking side of things, it hasn't really been a situation where, you could say that he's a 9 on 10 when he's going forward, but he's a 5 on 10 when he's, defending at the back. But it tells us the situation is, it's just been average both sides. It hasn't been a situation, where he's linked up really greatly with Jadon Sancho or Elanga or Marcus Rashford. And, you could say that, okay, he just needs to work on one thing. With Dello, it has been a situation where we've seen, that he's actually really, really good when he's going forward. But at the back, he does need to actually work on a few things. But with Telles, it's been really mixed. So, and plus, if you have got just 4 clean sheets out of, 18 starts, it is, a big question mark when it comes to your defensive ability. Because I do get the point that our centre backs haven't really been that stable. We've struggled with injuries at that situation as well. Plus, with the whole Harry Maguire situation as well, it's been really tough to actually, maintain a defensive line that can take pressure and absorb pressure like a sponge that other teams do. But with Telles, when we've been watching games as well, whenever we saw a player like Mahrez or anyone actually, cutting in from that left-hand flank, we used to know that, something is just going to happen. Our defensive line is going to break. And that's something that Telles isn't really able to offer us.
Yeah.
Because he's still, like I said, he's got 18 starts. So he has played a few games in which he's got a run of 11 games in between because of Luke Shaw's injury at the end of last season. So it's a big question mark when it comes to his defensive ability.
Let's get into a few more stats. So look at yellow cards. Surprisingly, Tyrell's got 5 yellow cards, which is quite not massively high, but it's quite sort of a decent number. What about Alex Telles? What is he on? What's he got?
1
yellow card. So I suppose that's a plus point in Alex Telles' column. Not really a massive one, but if you're committing less fouls and getting booked less, I suppose it's helping your team. So I suppose that's a plus point in the Alex Telles column if you want to sort of go there. Let's have a look at aerial duels and ground duels. So for Tyrell, aerial duels 0.6, 51%, and ground duels 5.3, 56%.
With Telles, aerial duels have been 1.4, 56%, and ground duels have been 3.3, 54%. So,
he's better in the air than on the ground for Alex Telles.
Yeah, because, but, with these ground duels, I would say one thing. When you're playing for Man United, and especially you're a fullback, we've seen it a lot as well. You play a lot of those sideways passing when, the teams play a low block. So, while we play sideways passing, you're still able to, just get like 54% of ground duels. It's something where I would say, because we've seen that he isn't that great when it comes to his passing ability around the box, because we've seen how cramped up we get whenever we're on that on the edge of the box and the left back has the ball, whether it's Luke Shaw or even Alex Telles this season. It's always been a situation where, the players don't know what to do when they're on the edge of the box. And that has been one of the things with Telles, which we've been questioning a lot as well. That
they do know what to do, and they're just not doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Because whenever they get to the opposition box, whenever they cross that midline, they just seem to forget what they have to do.
Yeah, it's baffling. It's baffling. Yeah. Hopefully, the coaching Ten Hag brings in, it'll sort of weed out people if they're not willing to do it. They're out the door. So hopefully that's. So let's move on. I'm just going to look at sort of. I was going to do some. Let's go to the sort of more defensive side of things, and then we'll go on to the attacking side of it. So we did the clean sheet. So interceptions and tackles per game. So for Tyrell Malacia, interceptions 1.1 and tackles per game 2.7, which is quite interesting. What about for Telles?
With Telles, the interceptions are 1.2 and the tackles are 2.3.
Okay, so he's minuscule better on interceptions, but his tackling rate's a little bit off, sort of there. I think he gets outrun, doesn't he? Even though for a quick player, once the ball goes over the top, he just seems to get outrun, so he doesn't really have the opportunity to make that many tackles, because normally, like we said, he's out of position, so he's not in a position to make the tackle in the first place.
Plus, I would say, it actually shows that he's more aggressive than Telles, because, if he's not even able to make up the ground and still he's, able to put in more tackles than Telles, just shows. And plus with, why he actually got 5 yellow cards, it just shows that, he's actually more aggressive when he's defending, when in compare it to Alex Telles.
Sure. So let's look at, I'm just going to look at clearances and errors leading to goal. So clearances per game, he's got 1.2, and then errors leading to goal, none. Absolute 0. Which is, that's what you want from a fullback. You don't want any errors leading to goal. What about Alex Telles?
The clearances per game are 2, and errors leading to goal are 0 as well. But we know the truth as well. So
yeah,
what I would say is this stat is a bit jumbled, because whenever we have been conceding a goal, Telles has been completely out of position at times. So you can't really add it as an error when the player isn't really around that area.
Yeah, he's in the opposition
altogether.
half. Yeah,
Exactly. So I mean, because we know one of the basic things when it comes to playing your fullbacks is that they have to have the chemistry in 2 ways: one with the center back there across, and one with the wing forward that they've got in front of them. And with Telles, the situation has been, when Varane has been next to him, he's looked more comfortable. When Maguire or Lindelof has been there, his position has been completely off. And even when you look, whenever he's been playing with Jadon Sancho, we've just seen glimpses of, what we can actually see when a fullback can actually pass the ball forward and, do it with a one-time pass. We don't
also
see that
though,
very
our
often.
winger, we've switched our wingers over so often as well, even during games as well. Like Ilanga's been over there, and then randomly he's thrown Rashford in, who's in terrible form. I think Bruno played there. I think Pogba played there. So it's just like he has no consistency in front of him, which doesn't help any fullback. Because especially if you're fullback, you want to be able to do the overlaps. You want to be able to you want to know exactly what that guy in front of you is going to do. I think that's why under Ollie he was so successful. He had Luke Shaw and Rashford. So that was your consistency on your left-hand side. And that's the way it worked. And it worked really, really well. But it just, when you don't know he's playing with you, it just kind of sort of messes up your rhythm. So you make less risks, you make less passes, and you go for the safe option because you don't know what your partner's going to do. So
I think that's a thing
bit of a misleading stat.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, the thing has been one thing that actually, I would say that has been wrong to him is that most of the times, because Marcus Rashford has been playing for us of that winger spot, because how they get shuffled in mid games, and whenever he's come on as well, he has been ignored a lot whenever he's made that overlap run, because we've seen, whenever the Marcus Rashford or even Ilanga, I would say, has had the ball at the edge of the box, the first thing that comes to their mind is cutting the ball in and actually, looking for a shot or just seeing in Ronaldo. Telles is actually, whenever he's running forward, he gets completely blindsided. So the ball, we actually, we end up losing possession. We get hit on the counter, and Telles is somewhere over here, and the ball is over all the way to the back. So
and then Maguire's coming out to cover that thing, and he's leaving a massive gap right there.
Yeah.
And obviously Maguire's not quick enough to cover between the two players. So once he goes, he's committed, and then they just knock a pass straight down the middle, and they're in. That's it. It's game over. But let's move on to the next sort of category. Let's go to interceptions per. Oh, we've done interceptions, haven't we?
Yeah, we've done.
So let's go to possession lost and clearances per game. So possession lost for Tyrell Malacia is 16.2, and then clearances per game. Where are we? Just trying to find that. I can't find that one. That's really annoying. Which category is it out?
It is at defending.
Both
from the bottom.
Clearances per game, 1.2 for Tyrell Malacia. What about Alex Telles?
It's been 2 for Alex Telles clearances per game, and possession lost has been 16.3, which isn't really shocking.
No, but he's pretty much the same as Tyrell. So his possession lost. That's again that was something that was brought up in the weaknesses, his defensive position. So if he's going to be out of position, he's probably going to lose possession quite a bit. It seems to be a lot closer than I was expecting. Like there's a few things that are a bit sort of different, but a lot.
I would say that when you actually look at the defensive side of things, it's pretty similar when it comes to just pure defending. But when you actually look at it in a way where you would say the ball playing ability, and when it comes to making that crisp tackling, I would say there is something where he does edge Telles, but pretty much when you have to just compare it purely on defensive ability, I think they're pretty much similar.
Yeah. Let's move on to dribble pass per game and penalties committed. So for Tyrell Malacia, dribble pass 0.9, and he committed 2 penalties in the last season.
Yeah, Tellez has been dribbled past 0.8 and penalties committed have been 2 as well. So
again, it's very similar. Like it
yeah,
is quite similar in the stats, but so it's interesting why it seems to be going through. Obviously, I think the attacking input, which we're going to get onto now, might tell a different story. But let's have a look at that. So for goals, Tyrell Malacia has got one. I don't think Alex Telles has got one, has he, this season? No, I didn't think so.
No, wait. He had one goal. If you remember that game where Bruno made that cross in and he did that volley against Villarreal.
Yeah, the Champions League.
Yeah,
yeah,
when he made
I
that
do
half
remember
volley,
that.
his first ever goal. That was actually a really great goal.
I do remember that goal. Yeah, that was the one sort of decent thing to come out of him this season. So yeah. Let's move on to like sort of assists and stuff. So assists, he's got 4 touches per game, 86.9, and big chances created 8. What about Alex Telles?
Yeah. Alex Telles has also got 4 assists, but when it comes to his touches per game, it's just 68.8. He's only created.
That's damning, that, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's only created 2 big chances.
Yeah, this is where the quality Ten Hag is obviously looking at. Going forward, he wants chances created for his team.
He definitely wants fullbacks who have that ball playing ability and are good with the ball in their feet. Because when you look at touches per game and it just comes down to almost 65 or 70%, just shows how your fullbacks they aren't really that involved in the game. The only thing that they're involved in is just filling in positions. So that is a big question mark.
Yeah, let's just move on to key passes per game and accurate per game. So he's got 1.2 key passes per game and an accurate 47.9, which is 85%.
Telles has also got key passes per game 1.2 and accuracy per game is actually 80%, so 35.8.
Again, a lot lower. So
yeah,
and it's that like, as we just sort of looked at the sort of big chances and touches on the ball. Obviously, Malacia is doing more touches on the ball. He's further up the field. He's taking more risks with the ball, and he's taking more touches on the ball to sort of progress the ball. Whereas Alex Telles is not progressing the ball that far. He's not taking that many touches the ball, and his passing is not that accurate either. And it just seems to suggest he's doing, like you said, sideways, backwards passing rather than a killer ball forward or a cross or something like that.
Yeah,
which is quite worrying. We'll just look at a couple of other things and then we'll sort of call it for the day. We've done the accurate per game. So accurate long balls is 2.7 and accurate crosses 0.7, which is 23%. So what about for Alex Telles?
So accurate long balls have been 1.1, 27%, and accurate crosses have been 1.4, 24%.
So his crosses are a little better.
That's pretty much, when you actually look at Telles and you have to, actually look at something and you would say, that's an area where he's actually, really, really good. It is his crossing. And we've seen that a lot as well. When he's been taking crosses, when he's been taking corners, he has been good at that. And I would say he's better than Luke Shaw when it comes to, providing assists, providing crosses, because it actually, helps Ronaldo to actually, exploit his ability in the air as well, because that's one of the areas where, he actually edges his opponents, his ability in the air.
You say that though, the one-headed goal that Ronaldo did was from a Luke Shaw cross.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I mean, I would say, but when you compare it to Luke Shaw, his crosses per game are much higher than him when you actually compare it, because I mean, with Luke Shaw, it's just been a scenario where you can just say, that whenever Maguire has been playing alongside him, his game has dropped massively. Whenever it's been someone else, he's still been average, he's still been good, but a few hasty decisions and then the injury actually, it just didn't go into his way. But hopefully next season we can see a healthy competition, maybe someone new coming in. So just maybe a positive road for every party involved.
Yeah. That's our sort of little statistical overview of Alex Telles versus Tyrell Malacia. Let us know in the comments who you would pick, who you think you should come into the team. Seems like it's happening pretty quickly. It seems like a Donny van de Beek kind of deal where it's out of nowhere. We just have landed a player.
Let's not mention his name.
Oh,
might.
God. Yeah, curse him. We'll curse him. Tyrell Malacia, if he does come in, that does suggest that Alex Telles is probably on his way out of the club, doesn't it? Because I don't see him
I would
having
say,
three fullbacks at the
I
club.
would say it actually, eliminates the thought of Telles staying, and actually, the thought of someone coming in from the youth ranks to play off that left back position, because we saw Alvaro Hernandez
I
being
don't think
mentioned a
he's
lot.
ready yet, is he? He's not
Yeah,
ready yet.
exactly. So, and just also shows that, Brandon Williams is also going to be booted off as well. So I think what he's actually looking for is, with Ten Hag, I think he still sees Luke Shaw as quite a prominent figure when it comes to that left back position. It definitely sees him as that player. But when it comes, he actually, wants something different when it comes to, your second choice left back, because I think that's one of the basic things that every manager should look at, because
you want options,
you've got
you?
One, exactly. One player is able to offer you something, another player is able to offer you something completely different. And that's what, actually, eliminates the thing where you would say, that team is actually being a lot predictable, because that's something we've seen a lot. Our moves, our plays have been so predictable. Every team was able to read our movement, and we were super slow when it came to our transitions as well. So I think if this guy does come in, it does offer us, that area where I would say, this guy can actually, help us exploit this area of a game against this opposition. He can be really good.
Like you said, if we're playing, say, a low block team, and Luke Shaw's just not had much success, it's like 75th minute or something like that, we can bring in him, who's clearly from the statistics, he's very aggressive, very front footed. Just bring him on to run at him, overlaps with Sancho or whoever's on the wing at the time, and you might be able to sort of tire him out a little bit and get that breakthrough that you've been begging for. Obviously, his crosses is very good. Seen that. His long ball is very good.
Yeah, and we've seen that as well. Ragnick's first game as a manager, when we managed against Crystal Palace, we saw, Palace were playing a low block. They weren't really, coming out of their box. They weren't really they were just trying to hold on to a draw. But what we did see was how the fullbacks were able to, influence the game. And that's where Dello actually came in, because that game, Dello was absolutely fantastic. We were able to see how much he was able to, make those overlap runs, how much he was able to, exploit that area from that right back position, moving forward, basically playing as a right midfielder at times. He was actually, able to have a really great chemistry with Ilanga, with anyone who was actually playing alongside him. But I would say that, yes, against teams who play a low block, we need players, especially fullbacks, who've got that ball playing ability, because we are going to have possession against these teams. We have to be able to, make quick passes. We need to be accurate, especially with the long balls and with the crosses, because that's one of the biggest things which comes into play when you're playing against team with a low block. And Ten Hag, especially in the Dutch league, he's been very successful against teams who play a low block. And I think I mentioned this earlier as well with Nick. And, him being really great against teams with a low block can actually come in handy for us next season, because when you look at, all the teams in the Premier League next season, you take out the top 6, I would say 6 games, 6 into 2, 12. So 12 games you take out, that's 26 games against teams. And even in those 26, take some random games out, draws, losses, random losses. Sure. You still got about 20 games in hand. And I would say if we are, able to convert those 20 games into wins, that's 60 points in the bag already, which leaves us with 18 games, in which if we are, able to even manage like 10 to 11 draws, that's 71 points done. We are in the Champions League. So if you look at it that way, if, he gets this guy, he wants to, implement this philosophy against teams who particularly play a low block, I could see it working. And I still think it's really a far-fetched idea of actually getting this done, but it's still, just basic math, some basic stuff where you could, just say that we can, because even this season, we were able to actually get in 58 points while we were being so bad. And most of these actually came in against teams like West Ham and these guys where, it's just been, just last second wins against, especially in the extra time. So this season, I would say, with the players he's actually, looking to bring in, Frankie de Jong has got great passing ability and has great ability with the ball. This guy, Tyrell coming in, he's also, really, really good when it comes to, his ball playing ability. So I see what he's getting at.
There's rumors of Anthony as well, possibly coming in. So
I don't see it happening.
You don't see it happening. We'll get.
I mean,
Adam. I think it's Adam. He's very excited by Anthony. I think he'd love Anthony to come in, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, they seem to have priced us out, don't they? They seem to be quoting 70 mil, which is that's Sancho money.
It's really
like you're not Sancho.
Yeah,
you're not Sancho.
And we saw. I mean, the way we've seen this Frankie De Jong deal progress. I mean, it's gonna shell out 85 million. So that's one thing out of the bag. If we get Tyrell in as well, it's gonna take I guess around 20 million out of the bag again.
Yeah.
So that's 105 million gone, and we're pretty much left, I would say, with 45 million because we haven't really had those money outgoings.
We have sold preseason Pirlo for nearly 10 million. Andreas Pereira, he has gone for nearly 10 million, which is shocking, by the way. I don't know what Fulham are smoking, but take him off our hands, mate. That's fine. If you want to take Aaron Maguire with you, you can have him as well. But we'll see. We'll save that for another day.
It would be a blessing if we are able to
actually
take him alongside with him. But even if we are able to have like 55 million with us, I don't see it happening because Ajax, when it comes to their transfers, they're really stingy when it comes to making money off their players, and they've sold a lot of players in this window. Gravenberch is gone. They've got Mazraoui going on a free as well to Bayern. So they've got decent amount of outgoings this season. So I don't really see them.
Haller might be going to Dortmund as well.
Haller to Dortmund. I mean, basically, 4 to 5 big players have gone. So in the remaining players that they've got, Anthony and even Lisandro Martinez being linked with us and Arsenal as well. So there's a race in there as well. So Martinez is going to cost us about 40 to 45 million as well if we are able to get a good deal on him. And Anthony's, I don't see him going for
it does
65 or 70 million.
It does seem like a Glazer linked sort of press release, doesn't it? It doesn't seem like a realistic target. Again, like you said, we're spending quite a bit on Frankie De Jong. So I think he's our headline marquee signing.
He's the marquee signing.
Everybody else is going to be 15, 20, maybe 25 million around that. Young, untested, probably unknown. Like I didn't know about this Tyrell Malacia before today. He's the first time I've heard and done some research. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. The transfer window, it seems to be picking up a little bit. We seem to be making some movement and stuff after this long saga.
I think most of these are going to be just desperate links, like the ones we had last window as well, desperate deals where we were automatically being linked with Dembele again. We were linked with players like Ocampos. I mean, just players coming out on random timelines just because the window was ending and we wanted to, generate some air. So I would say, Anthony could be one of those players because he's really talented, work with Ten Hag. Seems more realistic to, actually bring his name because we still know, I would say the 3 players that he actually wants, Ten Hag. Frankie De Jong is one of them. He does want Anthony as well, and he wants Christian Eriksen as well. We've seen that a lot of times that how badly he wants Eriksen.
Hopefully now Eriksen gets done because seems to have got Frankie De Jong pretty much on. So we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, we will keep you updated with Real Reds, all of that. You want to follow us on all our socials as well? We're on TikTok, not in India because they've just banned it for life. Apparently, didn't you say last night? We've banned it for life, so that's not happening. Follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook. We've got a Twitch channel, so follow us on Twitch as well. We stream FIFA on YouTube, so if you're on our YouTube channel right now, subscribe for that, like all the videos, leave a comment, drop us a DM on Instagram if you want to chat any more football. And if you've got any rumours or transfer things you've seen, send it to us, man. Happy to sort of have a look and stuff like that. Shreyas, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it, mate.
Comment down below when we will ever be able to buy a CDM.
Yeah, it's not happening this season, is it? Not happening. Oh God, it'll never happen. But hopefully Ten Hag knows what he's doing. We'll see a philosophy come out of him. Obviously, we've got preseason coming up really soon. First couple of games very soon, so that'll be interesting to watch and see what philosophy and what he's implementing. But thanks for joining us, everybody, and we shall see you tomorrow. I believe we're doing what's happening tomorrow. Is it a transfer show tomorrow? No, FIFA stream tomorrow. FIFA stream. FIFA stream. Eric Ten Hag returns. Adam and Nick are back. Check that out. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. And we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.